Hi, Jerry. You're muted. We can't hear you, Jerry, because you're muted. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I am good.
All right. Jerry, you're still muted. Let's see if there's I just pushed a button to.
I unmuted
There we
myself.
go.
I didn't realize I was still muted.
Yeah,
I said, hi, John. Hi, Sarah. And I asked Sarah if she was in Portola Valley.
I am in Portola Valley.
You're back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
How
felt
are
so
you?
sorry for you with those long meetings. And
Oh,
it was like after midnight for us, it was 3 o'clock in the morning for you.
yeah. This summer when I was traveling, it was that way. Yes.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew that that was gonna, happen because we have a bunch of family and we actually have a house on the East Coast that is our very long-term hope to spend more time over there in 10 years. So, but anyhow, all good. You kind of get your adrenaline going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Sue called just now and said that she's not feeling well at all.
Yeah.
And so her friend Jane's taking her over to urgent care at
Oh,
Palo Alto, but she's gonna have her cell phone in her hand. And she said, if we need a boat, whatever we need, she wants to be part of it, but we have to be careful because I took that Brown Act training, so. We
Yes,
have to,
exactly.
mhm.
Yeah, we need to have a quorum. I've
Well,
texted Tam. I haven't heard anything back from her. I texted Ryan as well. Let me see if I can text Phil.
And Heidi.
Heidi's here.
Oh, hi Heidi, you just came up. I'm sorry, I looked away.
Phil Barth. There's Phil Barth.
We need 2 more people.
Let's
quorum?
see. The total number of people in the committee is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So half of 9 is 4.5. So we need to have 5 present.
You don't count Sarah.
no,
Right.
I don't count.
Right. So hold on, I just got a
She's
text.
liaison.
And I'll even disappear. That's why I had my video off because I don't like to.
So
really
Phil,
care.
once again, oh my God, this happens every meeting. All right, he didn't
The
get.
problem with committees, it makes it hard to get anything done.
So it used to be that you could see all the recipients of a given email when the email went out, and now it's just an email that I received. And I suppose that's because it's more automated now. Oh, Ryan says he'll be right with us,
And Phil just got on,
and there's
That's going to give you 5.
so
That'll
we have
be
a quorum.
one, 2,
Okay,
3, 4. Yep. And oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more will do it. So we'll be in good shape. Hey, Phil. You are muted.
Okay, there you go.
All right, cool.
So yeah, I had to go to the town website and find the agenda for the meeting with a link in it because I got no email about the meeting.
Yeah,
It was
so,
sent out so long ago, Phil. I had to go back into my cultural arts file to find it.
yeah,
It was sent out in early September or something.
no, it was sent out. It was sent out October 7th, but the problem is that I think everything's gotten more automated. So I think it's a tool that's all automated, and the result is that the email that I see just is to me. So I can't confirm who received this email. It used to
Okay,
be,
yeah, I think I'm not on a mailing list that I should be on.
yeah, it sounds like Tam isn't either, which is gonna make it very hard for us to but it sounds like Ryan will be joining any moment, so we'll be in good shape once we have Ryan, and then we'll just record this. Oh, it's being recorded. All right.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so as soon as Ryan joins, no, we can't pass the agenda. Sorry, we can't approve the minutes.
We can't open until we have a quorum.
No. Okay, well, we'll wait for that. And then, Sarah, did you say that you were gonna have to drop off?
Pardon?
No, I wasn't saying I have to drop off. I was just saying that I will put my camera off and just because I'm not, I'm just a liaison and I'm here if you guys need me to clarify any questions and help in any way.
Yeah,
Okay, Sarah, but before we start the meeting, I'm still trying to get reimbursed for my expenses for PV Palooza and for the summer concert series, the posters and banners.
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know how that works. Who'd you submit those to?
I haven't submitted yet because
Oh.
the online says only $100 and I don't know who to submit to.
I would just go
Oh,
ahead.
I have a form.
Yeah, I would just go ahead, Phil, and ignore that it says it's for up to whatever amount it is. I think we're supposed to use a different process for amounts that are over pocket change. And I didn't know that until now, because in the past, I've paid for posters and whatever else using a credit card and then sought reimbursement. And I think what I just did in the past was ignore that footnote about the $100 maximum, and I just submitted it anyway, and I got reimbursed.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, why don't you do that? And then when I sent the email asking that exact question, the response I got back from Cindy was that it's supposed to be paid to the town when it's a larger amount. And that I don't even know how to do that.
Well, I don't know what the threshold is and I can find out for you guys. My guess is they want to cut the checks directly if it's for larger amounts. So let me, if you'd like, I'm happy to research that.
Okay,
Okay, this was one of those 2-day turnaround things, so
Right. It would
getting
take,
the town
I
to cut.
totally get it. I completely
Okay.
get it. So
exactly. I mean,
Phil, though, in the meantime, are you comfortable with going the approach that John just recommended? And
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure you get reimbursed right away.
I've done that too, Phil. And the one thing that I forgot each time was you need to get something from John as chairman of the committee saying he approves this amount.
Yeah, which I did. I
Okay.
sent an email saying that that was approved, I think. If not, I'm happy to send it.
Okay,
Okay, so there's a couple other questions relating to interfacing with the town that I would like your help with, Sarah. So I'm glad you're here. But we now have a quorum, so we can go ahead and get started. And hi, Ryan. So
Hello.
let me go ahead and call things to order. So let's go ahead and do a roll call. Looks like we have Jerry, myself, Heidi, Phil, and Ryan in terms of committee members. And we've got Sarah in terms of town liaison. And let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 10 minutes after 1. Let's see, any oral communications relating to items not on the agenda?
I do.
Oh, what's that?
I attended the training for the Brown Act.
Oh, good.
And if anyone else attended and I have any of this wrong, please correct me. It is different than it is. I did not know. One thing I learned is the Brown Act has different chapters, so to speak, for different organizations. So what I learned in school law, some of the stuff is different. When we take when we've been raising our hand for a vote, we have to actually write down the names of the people. So you'll have to bear with me, John, when I'm note taking. I've been doing this wrong. I've worked under 3 of you chairmen since I started on this committee, and we've never done it under any other chairman. So it's no reflection of you, John, at all. I've done it wrong for everybody. And the second thing we have to do is we have to write down who is not present. I've not been doing that in the minutes.
Okay,
Which
well, we can do
Highly
that.
unusual. So I'm just going to put a note above, not present. And
So those who are not present are Mimi Briner, Susha Poo, Sally Stewart, and Tamara Turner.
okay, what's Tamara's last name?
Turner.
Turner?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Sally Stewart, Tamara Turner.
thank you.
Susha
And
Poo,
we're
and
gonna
Mimi Briner.
have to do that every time. And then I do have to acknowledge Sarah is here as our liaison.
Okay, great. All right, and then if you look at your packet, which is the same document with the link that you used to join this meeting, you'll see on page 2 of the packet that there is a list of meetings from the previous, sorry, a list of minutes from the previous meeting on September 8th. And is there anyone who wants to move to approve these minutes?
I move approval of the minutes.
Okay. Anyone want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay. Great, so, and there's Mimi. We just have Mimi, by the way, for your notes. Mimi Briner just joined.
Oh, good.
Hi,
Hi,
Mimi.
Mimi.
Hi, Mimi.
You're muted. No, we can't hear you. But it's nice to see you. Okay, so we just approved the minutes from the prior meeting. So new business, budget review. Okay. This is something that I've really been struggling with, and I'm glad that you joined, Sarah, because I've had the following challenge. So, you know, PV Palooza was a large project with lots of expenditures and lots of people involved in fundraising and all of the above. And several months ago, I asked for details on full amount that was actually raised. I mean, I had received an email here and an email there saying, oh, we have a commitment from this person or that person, but I never got like a full listed out accounting on who contributed to PV Palooza. You might recall that we had a separate budget and account set up for PV Palooza that we would use to fundraise. And then we paid for expenditures out of that budget. So I never actually got that accounting until I just returned from Europe the other day. I was in Europe for about 2 weeks, and just before I left for Europe, I got that, and I've not had time to dig in, but it's very clear based on just a casual review that many of the people who had committed either have not paid or the listing that I got is incorrect. In any case, I've been flying blind with regard to what's in the overall budget as well as what's in the PV Palooza budget. We had a kind of common agreement that the amounts that are in the PV Palooza budget that weren't spent could be swept into the general PV Cultural Arts Committee budget. And I believe that that was disclosed on the paperwork that was associated with contributions. So that was clear, but I had thought that we were pretty much right on target. Maybe we had raised slightly more than what we spent. But based on the listing I got, we only raised like $9,000 or $10,000 when we spent like $22,000 or $23,000. And I only just found that out like a couple weeks ago, and it's been months. So that communication cycle needs to be significantly tightened up. In the past, that's not been a problem. Like if I ask for a budget, I'll get it the very next day, if not the same day, giving me exactly what's in the budget and what's not. Now, maybe in this case, because of the fact that it was a separate budget in PV Palooza, that was a harder task. But then I also asked at the same time, what's the amount that's in the budget? Did we get approved in terms of the budget that we had submitted for? And I didn't get answers to that either. So we've been totally flying blind. And in the last meeting, we had this proposal to do a movie night with the kids and potentially a second movie night with the adults. We ended up settling anyway on just a movie night for the kids, which is, geez, that's coming up, right, Heidi? It's
Wow.
It's Friday, tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, right? By the way, I won't be here, but Heidi did a fantastic job on getting that all roped in and together. But at the time we had our last meeting, we basically had to have a vote that was contingent on the amount of money left and in the budget. And I actually still don't really know how much is in the budget. I got an email from Jeremy saying something like, well, I think you're well off budget, which would definitely be the case if we only have records for having raised $8,000 or $9,000. But we have commitments from people that added all the way up to like $23,000. So either there's uncollected funds or we didn't, there's some pretty large accounting gap.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to drill into that because I only finally got that information just before I went off to Europe, and I haven't had a chance in the last couple of weeks to look at it. But the problem is it's going to be hard to go back to somebody, what's it been, 4 months after the fact and say, hey, we never got your money,
Well, let me ask a couple quick questions. Who have you been working with on the actual documentation for the budget? Is that Jeremy, or do you work with Cindy, or who do you work with on that?
I've been sending emails to Cindy to try and get this information, and
Okay.
I wasn't able to get it. And she apologized profusely for it, but I hope that there's going to be some way. It would be actually fantastic if I could just somehow gain access to this stuff to look at it. But
Right.
I feel like I've been very much flying blind here, and
Well, I guess the other question I was going to ask is, so it sounds like you have not been able to reconcile pledges versus money that came in, or you have
so
by individual, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I got a list from Cindy that I gave a quick glance to, and the problem is that it shows names of people who, in some cases, I can recognize the name, in other cases I can't. Those names of people are probably associated with entities that I would recognize if we had the name of the entity that corresponds to that individual, but there were certain contributions that I couldn't reconcile just because the naming was off. Number one. And number two, it was like there were significant number of missing contributions to that list. So, and it was just a quick sweep. In other words, I have to really drill in and look at it in more detail, but I have very detailed records of who committed. And I need to go and reconcile all of that. I haven't yet, but I'll have to in the next couple of days.
Well, let me just say that this sounds like, it's a significant issue if the gap sounds like it's about 50%. And so
Yeah.
It does sound like, although it's late, it's uncomfortable, but we might have to do follow-up by email to people to say, you said you would pledge and we know it hasn't come in, and just see what happens. I mean, we're not going to harass people, but that happens all the time in organizations that I've been part of. but just so we don't take too much time from, this group, if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to get on an email thread with you, with Cindy and Jeremy, and try and wrangle this down and do what I can to help.
Yeah, so let me do this. Let me take the first step in making that happen. I'll CC you and Jeremy and send an email to Cindy, but I was working at the time with Brandy, and I would get emails. Oh, Brandy would send an email. Oh, we just got this payment. We just got that payment. And I believe that actually some of the email, let me go confirm this, but I'm pretty confident that I'll find that certain emails that I received from Brandy, who had access to that portal, saying that certain people had paid, are not reflected in the numbers that came through. So I think
Okay.
there's a discrepancy there that we're going to have to tighten up on.
Okay, it sounds like it's a combination of things then. Discrepancy on the town side between where
Yes,
money came in and where it's being reflected on their document, and then discrepancy between pledges and actually received donations.
exactly. So
Yeah, okay.
my apologies. I just, in the last
No,
couple
no, it's
I've been
fine.
in Europe, but I just have not had a chance to make that reconciliation. But I think for next summer, we're going to want to find a way to make that very timely, because I think it's a lot harder when a lot of time has gone by to go
Yep.
back, especially if there are changes economically with the business climate, which there has been.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
yeah, so.
Okay.
Uh,
Stay tuned for an email from you then, it sounds like, is what your preference is.
exactly. And
Okay.
with all of that in place, I actually have no idea what our budget is. So, so I don't know how much we're going to have to work with coming up. But in this fiscal year, the only expensive event is a single. Oh, wait a second. Let me think about this. Oh, yeah. July, August, and September. So the only, so PV Palooza is an event, but it is actually in this fiscal year. It's in June. The fiscal year goes through the end of June, and that is paid for by donations. And so we'll be good on that front, assuming we can raise the same degree of funding as we did last year, which we did. We raised everything we needed. And I think this year we're going to be spending a little bit less, but so PV Palooza we're good for. And actually the plan is to have PV Palooza in June, and then the summer concert series in July, August, and September, which are all in 2024 fiscal year. So I think actually we're going to be okay now that I think about it. But next meeting, we will have a lot more clarity in terms of what's in the budget and what the numbers are. So I think what we want to do is focus on the non-budgetary side of planning. And let's see. So that's the budget review in terms of what we have so far. And then the next item on new business is movie night updates. So Heidi, did you have any updates for us on movie night?
Yeah, I'll just go over really quickly what's happening. We identified a movie, which is Coco.
Great.
We got the license for the film, which is $465. And just for the record, I did talk to Jeremy about that. Without knowing our budget, I wanted to be sure that we could afford it. And he said, yes, we can afford it. So we went ahead with that. I met with Justin from the town and Tamara and her husband James on Tuesday, and we figured out where the screen will be and where the projector will be and all that kind of stuff. So that's all set. They're going to go down there to start setting up at around 3, and the showtime is 6. I have the DVD. And I actually am also not going to be here tomorrow night. So I'm going to hand off the DVD to Tamara.
Okay.
I don't know if any of the rest of you are thinking about going. We didn't have anything in the budget. I didn't ask Jeremy about this. We didn't have anything in the budget for promotion, but we tried to get the word out through PV Forum by emailing many times with the schools and the PTO. And Carrie put it in the town website and the weekly update and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully people who have school age kids heard about it at school. And other than that, Justin was even going to look and see if we had any old posters or banners or anything for movie nights in the past, but he didn't find anything. So we haven't been able to put anything up or print anything out, but we'll see. I don't have any idea how many people will show up.
I think that's great, Heidi. It's the first year, and I think just getting it off the ground is a good idea. And then also, I don't think we had anything in the budget in terms of making posters.
Right.
And it is pretty expensive to print up these posters, and it's also quite a amount of work to put the posters up around town, as we all know. So, but I wouldn't, to be frank, the last couple of concerts, I just did electronic promotion just because it's so much work to go drive around and put up those posters. I mean, we had posters up all over the place. Let me rephrase it. It's the sandwich boards that I didn't put out for the last couple of concerts, and we still had pretty darn good attendance. So, a lot of that stuff is just a ton of work. So I think that it'll be great to see how many, kids show up and how many families show up. Based on that. Great. Well,
yeah, I've been getting the word out among my parent network, and we're planning to attend. We have an Italian au pair who arrives tomorrow for the next few months. So we'll either drag him along or let him recuperate from the jet lag. But we should be there in full force with some other young families.
great.
And to that end, Heidi, let me know if there is anything that the committee can do to support, seeing as you won't be there. It sounds like Tam will and others, but okay.
Okay, thanks.
Sue and I are planning on coming, and we're going to see if we can leave the tables out from this evening's meeting. And so, Ryan, we may need your muscle to help us, because my husband's not going to be there. He has to do football duty tomorrow night. So we're going to drag tables out for the popcorn machine and all that good stuff and the little goodies we're bringing.
Yeah, what time are you guys doing that?
What time?
Yeah.
Just before, because I want to go to your mom's house to meet Tom Deck.
Oh, right.
And she
Yes.
planned that at 5:30, so I'm gonna try to sneak out of there to be over. I'm just gonna go.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll probably pass on the road. I'm gonna try to get out of here when that happens. So
right. Oh,
we host a lot of parties, as I'm sure you know, at our house. So
yeah.
I'll try to get down there before 5:30 to help with any setup.
Okay, and I hope Sue's better. She wants to be well for tonight and tomorrow.
Jerry, FYI, since you mentioned the popcorn machine, I have not been able to get a popcorn machine.
Oh,
There
I-
is one, the PTO has one, but I haven't been able to connect with anyone who can get it to the town center tomorrow night.
okay. And
So-
which school, which PTO? Is it Corte Madera or Ormondale?
I think it's Ormondale. That's the elementary school, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
K3.
Ormondale. yeah.
Mhm. Okay, I should say pre-K3.
But Carrie wrote in her promotional, and I wrote in mine, bring a picnic. So hopefully people will bring their own, snacks or whatever.
Right.
All right. Any other updates regarding movie night? By the way, I didn't ask for questions regarding the budget review before I moved on from that. Were there any questions regarding the budget review? Okay, then let's move to the next agenda item, which is planning for PV Palooza and Summer Concert Series 2023. And to pick dates and make lists of tasks for planning. Okay, so let's start with date picking. I have already proposed and sent emails around for the date of June 10th for PV Palooza. That is a Saturday. It's basically the equivalent Saturday compared to the day that we had it this year. So if you look at a calendar for June, you'll see that it's a Saturday. I've emailed John and Patty at Parks and Rec. I've emailed Carrie and Jeremy. No response there yet. But I think Carrie might be out of town. Anyway, and I've emailed Springdown Farm and the church next door. No response there, but at least I, put a stake in the ground. So I'm hoping we can stick with that date. And it seemed to be a good time this year. And the last meeting, we kind of decided that we would stick with roughly the same dates for our events for next summer. In terms of the summer concert series, I think the dates would be, well, actually, before we move on to that, any comments about June 10th for PV Palooza? Nope. All right. So for the other summer concert series events, those are on Thursdays. And so we're planning to have July, August, and September again. And so I was looking at July 13th, August 17th, which is a week earlier actually than we had it this past summer. I mean, it's roughly a week earlier. And then September 7th, which is, September 14th. So basically it's middle of the month in each of those cases. And so again, the dates are July 13th, August 17th, and September 14th, all Thursday evenings, same time. Only thing that's a little bit dodgy is that, but I think it was fine. It was a little bit dark by the time the event finished on September 14th. I'd like to keep the timing of it the same, just so people can always know the timing. We don't have to change copy around or anything like that for each of the events. But it was slightly late. But I think it was workable. So Greg basically brings lights to help with the teardown, and he needed them for the September event. But otherwise, what are your guys' thoughts on those dates?
Fine.
Everybody like that? Okay. So we'll do the same thing. All right, we're clicking along. Okay, make lists of tasks for planning. So actually Heidi already started such a list, and I think maybe for our next meeting, Heidi, we can get together and really detail those out. What I want to do is, for example, by X date, we want to have, the banners printed, and then by Y date, we want to have the posters printed, and maybe those are the same date. But anyway, there's posters for PV Palooza. There's a single poster for all three of the summer concert series. I think we're going to want to do the same thing next year. There's also a banner for each. We did 8 banners for PV Palooza and 5 banners for the summer concert series. I think I think that worked out fine. The locations of the 8 banners were Roberts Market, Ramey's Garage, Alpine Inn, the intersection of Alpine and Portola, which we have to get permission from Most, but they gave it to us in both cases. The fire department, and then the two locations that the town puts out, which is Ford Field and the town center itself. That's 7. And then the 8th one for PV Palooza was we put one at Westridge and Portola against the water tower that's there.
Mhm.
That requires permission from I think it's Jellic Ranch, and he was able to give it. That's a little tricky to get, but we got it. So we basically got up those 8 banners, and I think it gave a lot of visibility to the whole town. And plus we had posters all over the place at a ton of different businesses.
So John, I seem to remember you left the banners in shape that a stick-on could be used for the next year. The same banner could be used.
For the concert series, yes, but not for PV Palooza. PV Palooza will be having an all-new banner, but for the summer concert series, we didn't put the year 2022 in the header. We just said PV Summer Concert Series because I think everybody kind of knows what year it is. But then there's a block of text that we can make a much smaller, less expensive printout for. So we did 5 banners this year. We could potentially print a 5th or a 6th banner if we think it's worth it. But each one of those banners are, it's a fair amount of work to negotiate with the property owner. Let's say it's Alpine Inn or whoever. But it's doable. So if we think we want to increase the number of banners I think 8 is a good number. I don't think we really need to do more than that, but we might want to consider having more banners for the summer concert series. So.
Might want to put some at pickup for Corte Madera and.
I tried.
Okay.
They don't support that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't support that. So that would be ideal, but yeah, no, they don't. They reserve it only for, I didn't check with the school district. I checked with Miss Shima at Corte Madera. I didn't try at Ormondale, but my guess was that if Miss Shima said that, that it would probably be the same case at the district level. I don't really want to go over her head anyway, but so. And
Nothing
then,
can be disseminated at a school without the superintendent's approval, and sometimes it has to go to the board. And period. It can't be a flyer, it can't be a banner, nothing can come onto school grounds that isn't pre-approved.
yeah,
That's
But-
why, John, yeah.
exactly. So,
It's not that they have anything against us, it's just, that's under the school law.
yeah. So my feeling is trying to get it at each of the key intersections in town makes good sense. So. And then, of course, when we get our posters, I think the right way to break it up is basically, we started to do some of this. So basically, to sort of break up the town into chunks like Ladera East, in other words, east of La Mesa Drive, and Ladera West. And then we can also do where the Parkside Grill is. What's that little commercial zone where Woodside Patrol and the chiropractic, whatever that little mall
Yeah,
is called.
Village Square. Yeah.
Village Square, thanks. Then there's another one, sort of where the PV Hardware and Roberts is, et cetera, et cetera. So we could kind of block out areas within Portola Valley where we want to put up posters, and then potentially areas that are outside of Portola Valley. Maybe we put up posters in Woodside or whatever, but and then we can do a count I think I just roughly said, okay, well, let's print up, I think 50 posters, but we might actually want to do a count this year. And then one of the best practices I found is that if you drop it off, it may or may not get put up. But if you actually offer to put it up for them while you're there, it's a little more, takes a few more minutes, but it actually is an they like it, right? It's like, oh, great, one less thing for me to do if you put it up for me. And also it's, you get to really check the box saying the poster's up, right? So that's kind of a best practice that I honed in on. So I think the combination of putting up plenty of posters, plenty of banners, we do the constant rhythm on PV Forum, and I also did, Facebook. I worked with Carrie for Facebook and Instagram and all that. And then also Nextdoor, Portola Valley. So all of those sort of places to put these events seems to work well. And what we'll want to do is kind of break up all the tasks that I just mentioned, plus a bunch of others, like some of the ones that were on Heidi's list. And who's gonna own all of these? But I think we learned a lot from all the activities that happened this summer. And we should be able to come together with a good task list of what's involved in all these events. So I hope to have some Google documents for next meeting where we can look at those lists. And then any questions about item C, the task list? Okay, and then the next item on the agenda is local artists and photography collection and archives. And Sue was the person who was going to take the lead on that. She's not available today. Is there anybody else who wants to take the lead on that agenda item?
Mimi?
Yeah, I could do it. What does it involve?
Oh, so the question is where we stand on that initiative. I know Sue has been working on it, but I wanted to get an update. I mean, maybe there is no update since last month.
Yeah, I haven't done anything on it since meeting with Nancy Lund months ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can just table that one until next month then. And let's see, I think that's it. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is November 10th at 1 p.m. on Thursday. And
Not May 12th, 2022.
23.
That's what it says on our agenda right here.
it says what?
It says date and time of next meeting, May 12th, 2022.
Oh,
Mine says November 10th.
mine too. November 10, 2022 at 1 p.m.
I'm looking at the town website.
Yeah, they put the wrong date on our minutes for today on the agenda. They said to approve the meeting minutes from Thursday, September 9th, and it was the 8th. So I've corrected that for John. But yeah, they have some typos going there.
Okay,
So let's see, our last meeting was Thursday, September 9th, wasn't it?
The 8th.
Oh, all right. Well, that's actually my bad. I write these.
Oh.
I write up the agenda and the meeting minutes for every month, so it looks like I missed that by a day. So that's my bad. In terms of what's on the website, I wouldn't even know where to go. So
that's okay. It's riddled with mistakes anyway, so not to worry.
okay,
But it gave me the right Zoom link.
okay. All right. So by the way, Heidi, is there any update? Like, is Brandy still involved at the town?
I don't know.
Yes, Brandy
Sure.
is still involved. She works part-time as a contractor now, and works on miscellaneous tasks, a lot of which fall within kind of green building codes and that kind of thing. But because she was a jack of all trades, she also fills in other areas as needed.
Got it. And then what about, let's see, I've noticed kind of a changing of the guard. I'm really bad with names, but there's somebody new who's coordinating these meetings.
Melissa is the new
Melissa.
town clerk.
Oh, okay, great. And
Yeah, the previous town clerk retired several months ago. And so we are having a little bit of some growing pains associated with that.
okay,
And Melissa is also bringing with her, kind of a renewed sense of discipline to rules and methodologies based on what, bigger towns do. So that's why you see more pushback from her, John, on all these formalities.
yes, I noticed it's a lot harder to change the date of a monthly meeting, for example, so.
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
the background as to the why, for better or worse.
Yeah, that's fine. We just need to keep that discipline going. And then in terms of and was that Sue Hanlon who retired?
Erin Hanlon.
Oh, Sharon Hanlon? Right, okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
all right. Great. All right. I think we've covered the agenda. And let's see, there was a is there anything in terms of other business that we wanted? I don't think we have a section for other business on this agenda, but is there any other business that we want to cover before adjournment?
No, just John, if you need, I kept a list, and I believe I emailed it to everybody of who pledged for Palooza. And the person that, I think I took notes on all that, and the person that was in charge of going after those funds. And then you sent me a couple of names of people that hadn't collected, and I followed up, and they told me they took the check to town center. So
Yeah,
that's the
So
only other thing.
since we've got some time here, let's actually, since we've got some time here, let's take a minute to take a look at that.
I sent you the email right after Palooza, I think, when but I thought I sent it to everybody so that we were all informed of the nice people that, like Dr. Lozani, Ed Oates and
So-
Jennifer Hammer, the architect.
Yeah, so fortunately, we did take pretty comprehensive notes on all that. So basically, if you can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is in Google Docs. It's a Google spreadsheet, and this is the list of everybody who had committed. And by the way, there were previously a lot of these were in the state funds received because I had received emails from the town as and when we had received funds. And so I changed them to funds received. But the problem was that these were almost all funds received, and the number was much higher than what was actually there. So what I decided to do when I first got the email from Cindy is I changed these all back to committed, and then I was going to go through my emails. I think it was Brandy who was sending me emails each time we received funds. I was going to go back and check each of the emails from Brandy and change these from committed to funds received, and then kind of use that as a reconciliation against the email that I got from Cindy. But all I did was change all these to committed. That's as far as I got. So, but look at that, $24,000
Right.
commitments. And these were not casual commitments. I wouldn't have changed it to committed until we got an email from the corresponding person saying, yes, we're committed. And so,
The people that I went after when they said they would do it, and then after Palooza, I actually wrote them a thank you note and hand delivered them to everybody. And they were committed, so I don't know why you weren't told. That the people that I saw said, I was happy to donate and so forth. I mean, they would have said, oh, I've got to get that check off. But the only one that did that was over at the architect's office, and he got it that day, and you had him down as committed just now. So I don't know. The money's there. I'm not worried, John. I really think the money is there.
yeah, so, if we, let me just open this email and reshare my screen. There we go. So, this is the latest email that I got just before I took off to Europe. And, in here is a bunch of attachments. And I think it looks like this is already open. Yeah, so this amount only adds up to 10,000 instead of 25,000.
Mhm.
So, and the problem is, like, I don't know who Greg Anderson is, so I need to, see what I mean? I don't, that's probably the accounting person for some firm. I don't know, maybe it's like the Alpine Inns accounting person. I don't really know who Greg Anderson is. Does anybody know who Greg Anderson is?
I'm looking for
Nope.
my email now. to
You
see
know,
if I
there's one of the co-owners at Alpine Inn is named Greg.
Okay, so,
I'm looking to confirm if Anderson is his last name or not.
all right,
That could be it.
But I guess what I'm wondering, John, my understanding is this is a report from the town, and I noticed that one says e-check.
yeah,
So I wonder, whoever sent you this, is it Cindy? Is it,
yes,
why don't we see if they can track down more information than just that name? They must have an address or something like that.
okay, yeah, I'll work directly with Cindy on this to find out who these people are. So I can start the reconciliation process, but clearly there's a big discrepancy between that 10,600 number and this 24,100 number.
There was a Robert Anderson also up there.
Robert Anderson.
And didn't you email me when I was down in Mendocino working on this with you, John, about the Christiansens or something?
Yeah, the Christiansens definitely contributed. So
And
right
they-
there.
You got a hold of me when I was on vacation, and you got that money from them.
Yeah, that's why I think there's errors in this sheet here. In other words, it's not consistent with all the funds that were received, but it could be that the query that was set up to generate this list isn't quite right, but we'll get it figured out. So Sarah, I will CC you on the email that I send. And I've got this spreadsheet here, which is related to all the funds that I know we got commitments on. And I also have emails as and when each of these came in from Brandy, when she said, oh yeah, we received, because she was emailing me like on a daily basis. Oh, we just got these funds. Oh, we just got those funds. And it all added up. So we'll figure it out. So anyway, I think next year we're going to want to figure out a way to get this tighter so it doesn't require all this
Mhm.
sort of after the fact reconciliation, which is a little more challenging. So. All right. Anything else we need to talk about as a team? Nope.
John, I found an email you might want to look at that I sent to you on 6/12/22.
Okay,
And it does list. It was a letter, it's from you, and you were saying thank you. And you list who the silver sponsors were, who the gold were, and who the donors were.
right.
So that might help you, because like the Lobster Shack, the check may have come from them personally. So we're gonna have to verify some of these names, but Helen and Brad Miller is the Miller name that's up there. So you may find information in that 612 email.
Okay,
And
thanks.
if you don't have it, I have it in my CAC file, so I can forward it to you again.
I'm also looking on the website for the Facebook website for PV Palooza, and it has Greg Anderson among the platinum sponsors.
Oh, that's very helpful. I'll look at that too. That's there, right here. Okay, so that, I'll just mark this one as funds received. Because we've got, there we go, Greg Anderson, and then Joshua Reynolds is here. Rob Roy Consulting. Funds received. And Robert Anderson. Anybody know who Robert Anderson is?
What were the names of the people that you and I were working with over at Palo Alto University, John?
Oh, yeah, they definitely sent funds over.
One of my emails failed, but you got through to somebody else and I got through to somebody. Let me see if I can find that in my file. I don't remember their names.
Let's see, did we, Palo Alto University.
They were gold sponsors.
Yeah, they're, and we definitely, so here, I definitely got an email from, yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna take everybody's time up on going through this reconciliation. But I'll go through this, and it sounds like you've got a good source of information there, Jerry, so if you could just re-forward me that email, that might be helpful.
Okay.
And we'll get this all figured out. I think we've finished a little bit ahead of schedule. Unless there's any other questions, we can go ahead and adjourn, and we will look forward to seeing everybody next month. And some of you will see each other tomorrow night for the movie night. Oh, by the way, Heidi, I had said that I was willing to contribute my audio equipment for movie night. Did Tam already say she had audio equipment and video equipment, or just video equipment?
Yes, they have everything.
They have everything. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Awesome. All right.
Good.
Thanks, guys. I'm leaving first thing in the morning to go in the mountains, so I won't be reachable tomorrow at all.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Boy, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm signing us off at 1:59 p.m.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.